If you've watched my previous videos, you'd have noticed that I've been having some issues with my audio. So I don't know if it was because of the little noise that comes from the curb light, but there is this sort of humming background sound when I'm using the mic from my camera, which happens to be a Sony CV1. So sorry, I finally be able to get what I would call maybe a mic kit at a budget price, because I'm not the kind of person that will go, not that I'm not the kind of person, I do not have the means to go for the more expensive microphone kits like the Rhodes wireless. No, you know the ones I'm talking about. Now the mic, when I first got my hands on the mic, I was really impressed by, the first impression was very, very nice. So you wouldn't know that this is just a microphone that is around $74 and $75. You would think it's one of those expensive microphones, and it doesn't just come in a packaging that does not really describe or define its price. It also gives a lot of value that will make you really maybe not want to consider the more expensive microphones out there. When you open the package, you find the box inside and then some few cables. There's a USB Type-C to Type-C cable, a USB Type-A to C cable, a 3.5mm jack to USB cable, and also a 3.5mm jack to 3.5mm jack cable. We have this because this camera, you can use it with a range of different devices, from mobile phones to cameras, and just so we have this so many cables inside. And then so when you open the box, there are three items inside. You have two transmitters and then a receiver. So let's talk about the receiver. Now, the receiver doesn't really look $74-ish or $74-ish, let me put it that way, because it has a digital display, not just some random buttons, and inside this display there are a lot of settings and configuration. There are a lot of things that you can do with it. The receiver, there are also two buttons on both sides of the touch display. So these two buttons, they are used for pairing. When you press them, you hold them down, you just press them down once. Then if there is any transmitter that is ready to pair, it pairs up with it. And then the other one becomes the vacant one for the other transmitter when it's ready to pair. So the digital display, first when you power it on, power on the receiver is very easy. You just hold down the button, a side button, for about 3 seconds, and then it comes up with a greeting like ulanzi on, I think, red colored text, something like that. And then you are greeted with the user interface, where you have, so at the beginning you might just have a battery indicator for the receiver, and then maybe a few other things. But then when you pair the transmitters, you find out that let's say you pair the two transmitters, then you'd have 3 battery indicators. The one at the top will be for the receiver, and then the 2 bottom ones for the transmitters. And then if you swipe up, you find out there are other settings there where you can toggle both mono or stereo mode for your recording. The settings are okay. First, it doesn't come in English language, so you'd have to change it to English. It's by default Chinese, but it's very, very easy for me, at least. I just had to locate the very popular gear icon that usually indicates settings, and then I opened it, and then I saw something that looks like the earth, or that oval shape that looks like the world, and then I toggled it. I saw Chinese and then English here. So there are only 2 languages, I think. There are just Chinese and English. So I managed to switch it to English. It's very, very, very simple. Like I said, very, very easy. You would find you can even operate it in the Chinese language, because everything has an icon and you can easily figure out what these icons they represent. And then if you want to go back, so there are no buttons to go back or without digital buttons on it. You just have to swipe up. So swiping up, so if you swipe up the first time from the home display where you have the battery indicators for your receiver and your transmitters, if you swipe up first, you get to the different menus. And then when you swipe left, swipe left or right, you go to different menu items. But then if you enter a menu item, for instance, the settings, and you want to go back to the list of those menu items, you just have to swipe up and it goes back. So on the side of the transmitter, you also have some stuff going on there. You have on one side you have two audio jack, or look like 3.5 millimeter jacks in there. So you have one of these ports, these audio jack like ports, let me put it that way, is to connect to a microphone that so you can be listening to yourself while you're recording. And then the other one is to connect your receiver to either your camera, your mobile phone, or anything that you want to connect it to. So and that is it. And then I think on the other side there is a USB Type-C port. And that USB Type-C port, you can use it to charge your receiver. In fact, both the transmitters and the receiver have this sort of USB Type-C ports that you can use to charge them individually. And also, the beautiful thing about this is that you actually don't need to use this. You actually don't need to charge them individually, because inside the case that they come with, there is a port that you just, in fact, the ports where they are going to rest or where they are going to reside, they automatically start charging there. You have those pins there that they come in contact with when you place them inside their respective locations, and then they start charging. So apart from being able to charge them individually, putting them inside that box automatically charges them. And the box itself, you can charge the box itself, something similar to your AirPods or AirTags, something like that. And I forgot to say this, the box itself, when you open it, you find out that there are indicators, 4 light indicators. So the number of lights that are on determines how fully charged the battery is. So if 4 of the lights they come on, then it means that it's fully charged. So if it's stereo, then maybe it's like 60 or 70% charged or something like that. So now going into the transmitters, they're just as simple as the receiver. So if you want to mute the microphone, you can mute them from the receiver itself. So you just tap that button and then you mute them. So you can record at the same time. You can record you can record with the 2 transmitters at the same time. So meaning you can have a conference meeting, or you just have something where you have 2 individuals in your content that you want to create. Both of you can use them, which is a very, very nice thing, and I like it. And then there is something that this thing promises, and that is about 100 meters of range from the receiver to the transmitter. So I actually tested it out with my secretary, Rookie. She asked me a question when we are going, and please, in the comments, you can let me know what should be the appropriate answer to that question.
So what will be my reward for this?
The beginning of this fence to the end is 100 feet, and then from that school there, the beginning of the school, that fence, it's about 100 feet as well. And 100 feet, it's let me do a Google search. That is about 100 feet in meters, is about 30 meters, 10.4 meters, that's 10.5 meters. So what you are going to do, go to that yellow building there.
Okay, I'll be walking down to the yellow building.
Yes.
It sounds my pet's name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do what you like to always talk
Okay, I have to keep on talking to get to that yellow building. Doesn't
Sing
mean-
a song.
Wait, I can walk faster.
Beyonce.
So I can get quick to the... You're asking me
Thames.
to sing a song. Jesus Christ. Okay.
So, yeah. So she's like 100 meters and I can't hear her anymore. Okay, I can still hear her. Wait. Okay, she disconnected. So she's like about 100 meters away from me. And you can see it's only mine that is coming up, meaning there's a disconnection. Okay. Yeah, the claims are fairly okay. Oh, I picked her up again.
Maybe I'll
so
take a different direction.
somewhat okay. It could be that there's a
As long as I keep on
disruption in the
talking,
line
that's
of
the goal,
sight.
to keep on talking, regardless of the distance.
There could
So
be
my
a
way back,
disruption in the line
I'll
of
try the 1,
sight.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again.
And so we lost,
Yes.
we
1,
lost
2, 3, 4,
connection
5,
for a
6,
few
7, 8.
seconds.
2, 3, 4,
She's
5,
coming
6, 7,
back.
8.
So, yeah, I think it passed the 100
beg, I give
meters test.
Anyways, I'm walking.
You can also connect a microphone. You can also connect an external microphone, a wired microphone, to your mic, to the transmitter itself. So why the microphone from the transmitter is very, very good in my opinion. If you think it's not good enough, and you have a microphone that has very good sound quality, you can plug it in. And lastly, I forgot to say something about this thing. There is something else again that you might not find in the likes of the more expensive Holyland DJI, and that is this transmitter can actually, this receiver can actually record on its own. So there is some memory inside, so you can record it and then later transfer it to your computer, which is also very, very nice. So it mustn't be you doing a sort of video content. It could just be some audio or just anything, or probably recording an audio and then that you add to a video later on, something like that. You can do it with this, so you don't really have to have a microphone, your camera or any of your devices with you for you to actually record the sound. And I don't need to kind of give judgment, okay, give judgment on the sound quality from this. You can tell from this video that I'm recording because it's what I'm using to record and it is what I'll be using to record for now. So for me, in my opinion, it's very, very good. Yeah, it's good enough. Let me put it that way. We are talking about the $70 microphone here, which is something that that is affordable to me. Okay, I can't afford the more expensive microphones, so I actually need what is good enough for what the video that I'm creating, and I think this has done the job and has done it very, very well. In fact, it has performed far above my expectations, and I think I would recommend it for someone who is also within my budget range or somebody in a similar situation financially to mine.